So this time it says solve the inequality. So Mrs. Zimmerman, what do I need to get rid of to get my variable by itself this time?
We're going to have to get rid of the 7.
Yeah.
Yep.
So we know from previous math work this year that when you have a number next to a variable, it means to multiply. So the inverse of multiply is divide. So we are going to divide both sides by 7. All right, so we have 7 divided by 7 and 56 divided by 7. Well, 7 divided by 7 is 1, and 1 times n is n, and 56 divided by 7 is 8. So that means that any answer that's over 8 is my answer. Can 8 be my answer, Mrs. Zimmerman?
Yes, it can.
Why?
Well, because it's greater than or equal to. It has the equal sign, so it can equal 8.
That's right. Okay, let's go to the next one. Oh, here we got a graph, Mrs. Z.
All right.
So this time, let's see what our, all right. So we've got a problem that looks like last time, only it's on this side. Well, remember, that doesn't make any difference. We're going to keep everything on the same side it was given to us. So we need to get rid of this 9, and we know that 9 is multiplying times x. So we need to do the inverse or opposite, which means let's divide. And so we're going to divide both sides by 9. All right. Well, 9 divided by 9 is 1, and 1 times x is x. So x should be on the right side, and 72 divided by 9 is 8. So you see, Mrs. K kept everything lined up. No switcheroonies, guys. They got to stay on the same side, and we don't change our sign either. All right, so let's get our number line, because this one we have to graph. All right, and this says 8 is less than x. So the number that we're given, our starting point, is 8. And is that going to be an open circle or closed circle? Take a moment, think about that. Do you see an equal sign? Okay, so I see no equal sign, so that means it has to be an open circle, and it has to be on 8. So you can see down here, I hope you can see my yellow circle. Mrs. Z, can you see it okay?
Yep, it's there.
All right, so we have an open circle on 8, and now we have to think. All of our x's, all of our answers are going to be bigger than that. So that means my arrow has to go to the right. Now let's just say you're at home and you're like, oh man, I can't remember which way that arrow goes. Well, we have a great way to figure that out. You pick a number under that arrow and try it. So I'm going to pick the number 10, and I'm going to bring that up here. And if I have 10 here, is 8 less than 10? Mrs. Zimmerman?
Yes, it is.
So we know we went the right way with our zero, or with our arrow, excuse me. If Mrs. K picked the number 3, let's say I had my arrow going this way to the left, and I chose 3 and I put it up here. Is x less than 3? No. So you can check your answers. You can check your arrows. So this is a no-fail assignment. You guys can do this. Let's try another one. Here we're going to solve the inequality. It says a number w divided by 6 is greater than 2. And remember, I want to find out what w is. So I'm going to get rid of the divide by 6. And the inverse of divide by 6 is to multiply by 6. So I'm going to multiply by both sides. All right. Now notice that my 6 is above this line. Remember, we talked about this way back in chapter 6. This has to be above that line so that we know we can divide them. And then we're going to take it times 6 on this side. So 6 divided by 6 becomes 1, and 1 times W is W. And on this side, 2 times 6 is 12. So all my answers, all my W's are going to be greater than 12. Mrs. Zimmerman, will you give me one answer greater than 12?
Ooh, how about 58?
Wonderful. Okay. Would 12 be an answer?
No, it's not greater than or equal to.
Okay. And Mrs. Zimmerman, if you were going to graph this, would this be an open circle or a closed circle?
An open circle.
Right, because it's not equal to.
Yep.
All right. Let's go to the next one. Okay, we're going to graph this one.
All right.
Here we go. I think this is our last one. So we have a number R divided by 3 is less than or equal to 3. And I want to get rid of course, the divide by 3. So the inverse of divide by 3 is multiply by 3. So I'm going to multiply 3 on the left and multiply by 3 on the right. And we know, notice Mrs. K wrote it above that line there, keep them separate. So now that means 3 divided by 3 is, oops, excuse me, 1. And 1 times R is R, so that's my left side. And 3 times 3 is 9. So our inequality is solved, and it says R is less than or equal to 9. Now let's pull up our number line. And this is our starting point, 9. Now we have to ask ourselves, should this be a closed circle or an open circle? Mrs. Z, what do you think?
Closed.
Closed. Why?
Because it has the equal sign underneath of it. So we got it could equal that number, so you got to include it.
Excellent. So we've got a closed circle on 9. And then all my R's have to be less than that. So that means my arrow is going to go to the left. Now, let's just check this answer. Let's pick 0. I'm going to put 0 up here for R because we're saying that all of these numbers forever and ever and ever are the answers. Any of those numbers could be an answer. So I'm going to pick 0. I'm going to put it up here. And is 0 less than or equal to 9? It sure is. So we went the right way with our arrow. Class, we are at the end of the slides that I wanted to share with you, and I hope that you understand what you're doing now that you have seen some examples. Remember, these videos that we make for you, you can watch them over and over and over again if you are unclear, because we're trying to be very clear, and we know that this is hard for you to be learning through a computer. Also, when you are doing your assignments, make sure you put your first and last name, because we have over 100 kids, both Mrs. Zimmerman and myself, and we want to make sure we give you credit when you do it. Another thing we wanted to remind you is if you score poorly the first time, we'll let you do it again. Go ahead and do it again. The important part is that you're learning. That's what we want you to do, and without us there beside you, we know that that's hard. Mrs. Zimmerman, anything else that we've forgotten to remind the kids of?
I don't think so, but I will say, not so much a reminder, but Mrs. K and I want to say you guys are doing a really good job. We see how hard you're working. We can see, you know, the questions that you do and how many times you try it, and we really appreciate that effort because we know, like Mrs. K said, this is not the best situation, but you guys are doing a really good job with it, and we appreciate that a lot.
And it makes you look more like a 7th grader.
Yes.
Because 7th graders have to be responsible for their homework. You're just getting older, and so this is a great skill for you to be showing us, and we appreciate that. We miss you.
Yes, we do.
Dearly. And we enjoy hearing from you. And if you get lonely and you just need to send us an email to visit with us, we're happy to do that. We're happy to get your email, because we know it's lonely at home. It's lonely for us too.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, stay well, everybody.
Yes.
And until next week.
We'll see you later. Bye.